This is the Transformers TF Collection number 6 G1 Megatron, with the Generation 1 Megatron by Takara Company. This was part of the TF Collection set released by Takara back in 2002 to 2005 or 6. Just before Transformers were back in the limelight in 2007. And I think this was a time when Takara was still just Takara and not Takara Tomy. And yeah, this is my one and only G1 Megatron. Look at the packaging. Or Generation 1 Megatron. I picked up the set at Our Toys a couple years ago. I think I showed this off in one of my haul videos, and I didn't want to do a review of it because I didn't want to take it out, but the packaging's not sealed, so I realized, I already reviewed the Takara Tomy G1 Optimus Prime. No sense in not reviewing this. And again, like I said, you only live once. You gotta know if this set is complete and if it's okay. There are no factory defects. Knowing me, I don't get the worst luck with these things, but let's do a review. I want to do a review for you guys. Now, if just a little bit of info, the TF collection was the reissue, the first, one of the first major reissue line of Generation 1 toys by Takara, and this was pre Michael Bay Transformers, and it featured a lot of these cards and previously released Generation 1 Transformers, and they did about 22 sets, including Optimus Prime, Grimlock, Soundwave, the rest of these guys. They did, here's the rest of them. It was nice. It was a nice book type of format where you could display it this way in packaging. You could take it out. It was very nice. It's all Japanese literature and booklets and pamphlets and all of that. And after 2007, I think Takara became Takara Tomy, and the TF collection was replaced by the Encore line. And for some collectors and some sellers, actually online sellers, this is referred to as the DW or the Dreamwave line of Generation 1 toys, because the artwork looks very familiar to the IDW artwork by Pat Lee, and which is actually a misnomer because more than half of the illustration of the packaging of the 22 sets was done by Ichikawa, who never worked in Dreamwave or IDW or whatever. So yeah, let's take it out of packaging. And before we begin with the figure, here are some of the leaflets or bits of literature that came with the figure. It's got a nice little instruction sheet. This is actually pretty helpful. It came with a Decepticon mouse pad. Nobody uses that anymore, right? And sticker sheet for the Decepticon faction symbol. It came with a trading card, sticker sheets for Megatron, and I suppose this is a warranty card. And here is Megatron out of packaging. Now, for our younger audiences, it might not look as cool and as amazing as some of the more newer Transformers toys have been out, but back in the day, in the 1980s, these were the bomb. I mean, these toys, if you had them as a kid, you were the most popular kid on the block. And I never had them. We couldn't find them in the stores. In Manila, Hasbro never reached us. If you wanted Transformers, you had to go to Japan, maybe Hong Kong, or the US. Japan had the Takara Tomy versions, and you gotta go to the US, you get the Transformers, or Canada. I got most of my Transformers from Canada, and here is Megatron and Optimus Prime. Well, I'll talk more about Optimus Prime later, but here he is. He has his flail, Energon flail, that we saw in the first episode of Transformers, first few episodes of Transformers. Some clear purple plastic, and the scope is used as a gun. Really, I mean, this was Megatron back in the day. Before he transformed into a tank or into a spaceship, he was a Walther P-38 gun. And if you watched that show on Netflix, The Toys That Made Us, Bob Budiansky and a bunch of the other people of Hasbro were thinking, you know, the toys, the Diaclone toys were nice, but there was no mythology, so they created a mythology. And then they saw the gun. Ooh, let's make him the leader of the bad guys. So that's how it was. And the trucks and cars were the good guys, and the jets and the gun were the bad guys. Now, the official transformation is really like this, but it kind of looks weird, not show accurate. In the show, the barrel of the gun was really on the back. And there's really no way to do it. There's not enough clearance unless you pop off the shoulders and sort of do it this way. That's the closest thing to a cartoon accurate position I can think of. But you don't want to break the toy, and this is it. So there's a lot of chrome pieces. That's, I think, what sells this particular figure. All the chrome pieces it has. The entire arm assembly is made of chrome. The chest assembly is chrome. Very nice. He's got some die-cast parts as well, if you look closely. The hips are made of die-cast. The leg, inner thighs, the thighs are made of die-cast. The feet are made of die-cast. So he's a very heavy figure. Also, the shoulders, made of die-cast right here. These pieces right here, as well as the central spine piece, is made of die-cast. If it looks familiar, it's probably because you've seen another Transformer that looks very similar to this, and that's the Masterpiece number 5 Megatron. And I've done a review of that, and it's essentially the G1 toy, you know, oversized and given better joints and articulation and a more complex transformation. See, look at this guy. There's some stickers applied, but I'm not going to apply the others. The rub symbol is right there. Really a skinny, ugly looking toy, and I can imagine why a lot of collectors got frustrated with. I personally got frustrated with the G1 toys right about time of the 90s, and it was just, I couldn't get them in poses and in situations like I saw in the cartoon, and I just basically gave up on Transformers. The only time I got back to Transformers was when the Power Masters came on, and I got to collecting again, and then I stopped, and then when the Bayverse Transformers came in, that's when I started really collecting. Okay, so articulation for the figure, he's got a swivel shoulder and another hinge joint because of transformation. That's about it. The arms go in and out because of transformation. Doesn't do anything. No waist articulation. The head doesn't move. It just goes up and down a little bit. The feet, nope. They don't do anything. Legs don't do anything except go in and out like this because of transformation. That's that. I'll give you a closer look at the details of that chrome finish. Oh, look at that. Mirror finish. The G1 head of Megatron. Yep. Looking nice. Feet. You got all the elements of the cartoon, but that's what they had to work with. Okay, other accessories of Megatron include a chrome sword. Wow, this is a huge sword which he can hold on either hand. Very cool. Very nice mirror finish. Look at that. And then he's got a gun. If his fusion cannon isn't big enough already, he's got another gun. It's also done in chrome. So that's pretty cool. Okay, and the stock of the alt mode, the silencer, extra barrel, and the stock, they do transform into this cannon, which I'm sure you guys have seen. He can actually hold, if he could, well, there's some handlebars for him, and he can have this big cannon. All right, and for size comparisons, here he is with G1 Optimus Prime. It's a good scale, actually. He's a little bit taller, just right, because he was always taller by a bit than Optimus Prime in the cartoons and comic books and whatnot. So we'll move Optimus off to the side a little bit. And here he is with Siege Megatron. This is now the favorite Megatron figure for most fans now because it looks so much like the cartoon. And what a far cry from what he used to look like. And finally, Masterpiece Megatron. Here we go. The Masterpiece Megatron is MP36, probably the most perfect looking cartoon accurate Megatron you can get. I mean, but wow, what a long way the Megatron toys have come. All right, so for transformation, take out the scope, this fusion cannon. All right, and what you want to do, fold up the arms this way, this, and then this one folds in, push it like that, and this one like that. So is this the fists? What you want to do is you want to fold this down right here. You want to go ahead and fold out the spine assembly, and then this one, and I want to go fold the barrel right there. Put it in like this. I'm gonna go ahead and rotate that whole chest assembly and then push down the whole chest, the top part of the chest. It's on a spring. Just be careful. You don't want to ruin it. And then make sure everything's lined up. Okay, make sure you do it together so you don't ruin the springs and all that. I'm gonna fold the arms this way, and they're going to do this and do that. We're gonna this way and this way, and you're gonna join them together, and you're gonna come together like this and form the back part of the gun. Okay, and then the head will fold this way. Okay, and then these pieces, the hips are going to slide back this way or fold this way, that way. Okay, the feet, they're going to collapse this way, that way, form the butt of the magazine. Put the feet together, slide them back, and then slide them up like that. And there you go. There is Megatron in his Walther P38 alt mode. Very cool. This was how Takara wanted it. See that logo, Takara, rub symbol right there. And you can actually put bullets. He actually does come with bullets, which I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna take them out. But you could load the bullets there, and there's that mechanism. When you pull the trigger, you can just see it. It will fire that bullet out through there. Put the scope in right here. Cool. Incidentally, the stock, which forms Megatron's cannon, you can also put a bullet in right there. And when you pull this, it launches that bullet through here and through the extended barrel and magazine, right? Barrel, extended barrel right there, and it'll shoot out. I don't know how far it will go. I don't want to risk it. I want to keep the bullets in good condition. So, yeah. Okay. This is how you pull this. We just convert the stock this way, that way, and then combine them like this, and then like this. And there you go. And this is, see if I can slide it up. Okay, and this is the Megatron gun we've come to know in G1. It's huge. I mean, look at this. It's like whole extended bits and pieces from one pistol. Sorry, pull this up like that. And here he is with G1 Optimus Prime. Now, obviously, he did not turn into a huge gun on the show. He was able to shift his mass and shrink to a sizable pistol that the Transformers could actually hold. This is more of like an actual size for a human to hold, but he had shrunk himself into something like this, so that Soundwave or Starscream could hold him, or even Optimus Prime can hold him. And that whole mass shifting thing with Soundwave, the cassette as a cassette recorder, becoming small and growing big, and that's the same with Megatron. And he would shrink into something like this, which was, I was a kid, I just bought it. I was like, oh, cool, it was so amazing. Anyway, so some final thoughts on the figure. This toy is really just for the G1 collector. If you're a big Megatron fan and you're okay with the whole G1 idea of him being a gun and all that, and you want to feel some nostalgia of how the toys were back in the day, this is absolutely for you. That whole Takara line of the TF collection was an amazing line. I mean, for G1 collectors. I personally got frustrated with a lot of the G1 toys, but being a Transformer collector, 3 years ago or 4 years ago, at a local toy convention, I decided, you know, I'm going to be a Transformers collector. I got to have the G1 Optimus Prime and the G1 Megatron, at least in my collection. I had the Masterpiece Optimus Prime, I had the Masterpiece Megatron. I had to have the G1, just, you know, to have in my collection. Even if my collection's becoming concise and I'm shrinking it down to just being the 100%, the pieces that I like 100%, I'm keeping it and getting rid of a lot. I would love to keep the G1 iterations of the 2 most popular characters in the Transformers franchise. So the toy is, you know, for all intents and purposes, for the nostalgia value, should get a 10 out of 10 for me. I know a lot of you are going to think it should just get a 5 or 6 out of 10. It's a crappy toy. But for all the older, more mature Transformers fans out there, this thing deserves a 10 out of 10. It was way beyond its time back in the day. And so there you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed this little video review. This has been the Transformers Collection, TF Collection, Takara G1 or Generation 1 Megatron. Thanks for watching. Prime Megatron. One shall stand, one shall fall. Why throw away your life so recklessly? That is a question you should ask yourself, Megatron. I'll rip you with my bare hands. I gotta help Prime. No. Sure you can. Finish him, Prime. No more, Optimus Prime. Please, have mercy. Show mercy, I beg of you. You who are without mercy, now ask for some. I thought you were made of sterner stuff, Megatron. No, you don't, Megatron. Hot Rod, get out of the way, Hot Rod. It's over, Prime. Never. Optimus, forgive me. It's all your fault, Hot Rod. If it weren't for you, we could have finished the movie right now and never have to defeat Unicron. I'm sorry, Optimus. Here, take the matrix of leadership. You can be leader for now. Light our darkest hour. Because the Hour of the Prime's toys here in Manila are still not on clearance. And I can't transform into Rodimus Prime. Plague it. No, please put them on clearance. They're still at $60. Please make them $20.